It is really nice to be back. Heidi and I are delighted to be here with you this evening. And first, we just have to say it feels like home coming back, but Williams Hall is just tremendously beautiful. And it's also a pleasure just to come and sit through this meeting that we've sat through and hear about the year this gang has had, that all of you have had, and congratulations. It's so fitting that we're talking about Anita this evening because she was a stickler for detail, which Heidi's going to talk about, but this was right down her alley. So to see these things being firmed up and clarified, it's just wonderful to be here to witness that. I just want to say that in this room we've got past presidents, we have present parents, and we have so much in common in many ways. We love our children. We made a choice to entrust their care and education to Ridley College. And just by your presence here this evening, we also share the belief that we all have a part to play as members of Ridley's family by supporting or being involved with the Ridley College Family Guild. As well as being grateful for what Ridley provided to our children, Heidi and I have said many times that one of the blessings of Ridley was very lasting, precious friendships through the parents that we met on the Ridley College Family Guild. We worked side by side on so many projects. We sweat together as we gathered used clothing, and some of you are going to relate to all of this as we go through it. Moved heavy items for the Christmas market, created florals for the cadet balls, organized functions to create community, and cheered on way too many to count sporting events. This is where Heidi and I met Anita Robertson, a woman who became a dear friend to each of us, and someone that we worked very closely with on the Family Guild executive. Now, as much as we're going to be paying tribute to Anita, I just wanted to backstep just a little bit to tell you a little bit about Anita and Joe, because they really were very much a team. So much has been said in our local and national media about Anita and her husband Joe and their daughter Laura, who died tragically in a plane crash last summer. Their legacy will live on in Anita and Joe's two sons, Clark and Taylor. As well, it'll live on through the lives of those people whose lives they've touched and paths they've crossed. They've also had a very lasting legacy through their donations to the arts, the education, and Niagara community. Ridley was no stranger to their kindness. From the time they started, their children right here in this building, in the lower school, Joe and Anita were committed and supportive. Joe served on Ridley's Board of Governors and lent his brilliant mind and expertise, especially in the area of finance. He was also on the selection committee that chose our most recent headmaster, Ed Kidd. Joe and Anita were a team, and they attended lots of Ridley events. I fondly remember on one occasion, which we don't have a photo for, Joe bringing all his personal band sound equipment out to Bork. Do you still call it Bork, or the Burgoyne Center? We were having a square dance and a huge social for the parents, and it was a riot that night. But there was Joe shoving all this equipment and getting everything set up, and him and Anita making sure the sound was the way it should be, projected through the barn, and it was a great night. As a family, they were not only generous with their time and talents, but also their finances, and most recently donated Robertson House to Ridley College for faculty and staff housing on McDonald Street. While their primary residence was in Niagara-on-the-Lake, this was the house that they lived in while their children were attending school during the week. So this house was really a place where many, many family memories were made and created, and has a very special place in the hearts of Taylor and Clark. Linda invited Heidi and I to come this evening and pay tribute to our friend Anita. Anita was a woman who lived intentionally. She was a keen life learner who was committed to growing and challenging herself. She would write quotes on their family chalkboard just inside their side door as you came in from their garage. One of the last ones I saw on her board was, "Excellence is a habit." That explained Anita and how she approached everything that she did. Anita was a very humble woman. And she would be absolutely mortified that her picture is up there and we're standing here talking about her. And we could go on and on about how wonderful she is. But in honoring her legacy, she would want us to reflect on the importance of service, of volunteerism, and the difference that each one of us can make in our community. Her life serves as an example for us all. Anita was active with the Family Guild from the time she arrived here. As her family progressed through the school, she served as a Family Guild president from 2007 to 2008. Anita was a leader who exhibited several strong traits needed in an environment like Ridley. Humility, strong work ethic, she led by example, she paid great attention to detail. She would have loved this evening's meeting. And she believed that everyone had something to contribute. She also believed very strongly in the partnership between parents and the school. Heidi is going to come forward now and share a few stories in the brief time that we have, which we hope will give you some insight into how she led within the Ridley walls and what we can learn from her.
Thank you, Karen. It's a pleasure to speak about Anita and volunteerism. There are a few qualities that made her an extraordinary volunteer and a friend of Ridley. She was humble. Anita almost single-handedly redesigned Hanks. It used to be called the Co-op and needed a new look. Anita took the project head-on with the redesign and an inventory system implementation. She created a better flow for the ease of staff and the volunteers, and then created a just-in-time inventory system for the clothing. Anita would come in each week and count the inventory until she had the system running smoothly. And she did all this extra work on top of her duties as the Family Guild president. And most surprising, many did not know the scope of her project or the hours that she quietly put in to make it better for everyone. She was never in the job for the glory. There was no glory, just 22 size 10 youth pants and 55 upper school cadet sweaters. You get the picture. Anita had worked alongside Joe, and they built one of the most successful dental supply businesses in North America. And here's Anita counting school uniforms. She just went about her work quietly and methodically and ever humble. Anita's strong work ethic came with a motto, just get it done. She didn't need long meetings, just divided the duties. Communicate efficiently, problem solve, and get it done. If you were having trouble with anything, she was the first one to be by your side to help you out. Only 3 more boxes of glass blocks to move. Personal nightmare. Also, Anita led by example. She would never ask you to do anything that she would not do herself, and most of the time, she was right there beside you. I don't know how many times she said, come on, Heidi, I'll do it if you will. I'll go if you go. It was always a pleasure to have Anita by your side, volunteering alongside someone like Anita, or Karen, or Deb, Tina, Linda. It was never a job, it was a pleasure. Anita always let you know whatever job you had undertaken, you were making a difference and it was appreciated. Anita made sure you knew what opportunities were available with the Guild and that there was a place for all to be involved. One more trait Anita used as a volunteer at Ridley, or with her work with United Way, or in just the way she lived her life, was her attention to detail. She was meticulous. She was detail-oriented. And my goodness, that woman was organized. Anita took great pride in getting it right and making it appear seamless. Her notes to the next Family Guild president is what became the binders. The next president need only to reference the binder to know what was expected, how to do it. Those leadership binders were a wealth of information and evaluation to be shared with the next leaders. A good example of this is the evolution of the Christmas market, which started as a trunk show or Christmas fair, spelled F-A-Y-R-E, held at Kenyon Let. And under Anita, moved to the lower school, which made us realize we had a real opportunity, not just for our Ridley family, but to invite in our Niagara community. And look where we are now, a 2-day festival in the field house. I think we have an angel to thank for her insight, her vision, her work ethic, her attention to detail, her kindness, her compassion, and her friendship to us all. Anita believed in the partnership between Ridley College and the Family Guild. Parents are a wealth of resources for the Ridley community, and the volunteering hours are a gift to all that is Ridley. So my advice to you is to remember why you do what you do, volunteer with a sense of pride, and know that you are appreciated by the Ridley family. And be sure to encourage others to join you. Sometimes all you need to do is reach out and ask them to join you. I can tell you from my heart that the rewards of kinship, accomplishment, and friendship are immeasurable. And it's a gift that truly keeps on giving.
You're almost through this. We almost got through this without totally losing it, the two of us.
Yeah.
Speaking on behalf of all the past presidents and the alumni parents in the room, we applaud you, Hannah, and your team for all your efforts and your enthusiasms over this past year. Some years can be more challenging than other years, and this was one of those. So congratulations. Please accept that. Moving forward, you're moving forward with clarity and purpose, and we just wish you all the best. We hope that you remember that you're part of a very strong tradition as members of one of Canada's very oldest family guilds. There's history, tradition, and an alumni who want to see you succeed with your goals in supporting the school. You are each privileged individuals with many skills to offer, and as a family, as has been said now many times this evening, there's a role for everyone. As you already know, great attention must be given to the assimilation of new families every year, as well as our present families. And someone once told me, when someone says no the first time, when we ask them to join in or participate, that doesn't always mean that's a never. Relationship building just doesn't happen. It takes work. Men and women also engage differently, but each have a role to play, and it's great to see the men here tonight. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining the efforts of the Guild. What seems like many years ago, I was asked to provide the annual report to the Board of Governors from the Guild. And I said to the men, and I still believe that it's true today, families are the best public relations and admissions departments Ridley has. There are also deep wells of knowledge that can provide valuable feedback, so don't fear transparency and listening ears. It is so nice to see the senior leadership team represented here this evening and the value that they place on your contribution, and just seeing the impact of their involvement even throughout the year in this process that you've gone through. So, thank you. In closing, Anita often said that in volunteering, you're not only giving, but you're receiving. Each of us are gaining new experiences, friendships, and along the way, a greater understanding of ourselves. We hope in sharing some stories about her life and legacy that you'll be encouraged and motivated to live your life intentionally, specifically in the area of volunteerism. And as we say here, really, may we be consumed in service. Also, may we also strive to make excellence a habit. With summer quickly approaching, wishing you all some really well-needed rest and all the best for 2019 and 2020.